It's connecting now.
Hello again, and welcome everyone to the ROONS MIZZ Arsenal chat. I'm ROONS,
And I'm Miz.
and we come at you live every Friday to talk about all things Arsenal, the good, the better, the best, and everything in between. Miz, where are we at today?
Happy.
Happy.
Feeling good about it. I think the Europa League draw came out this morning. We didn't win yesterday's game. I think we lackluster played yesterday, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
The tie was done. I'm not mad about them kind of taking their foot off the pedal and resting a little bit. You want to see them win. It could have been dicey, but it's
It's almost like I could see them playing a weaker squad and losing 1-0 and still going through, but it just looked like that squad wasn't good.
No, they didn't play.
I mean,
they didn't play. They didn't play
that's
well.
the bad version of Arsenal that we don't want to see.
Aubameyang had a terrible game yesterday.
Definitely. He missed two that are like he never misses those.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like fall over from the weekend where he dropped, but we got a lot to talk about. We have recaps. We had a Europa League game. We had Tottenham on Sunday, and North London Derby, which we won, which were
huge
win. And Spurs got dumped out yesterday by Dynamo Zagreb, which makes me a little happy as well. And
yeah, I can't deny.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the recaps, transfers, the Europa League draw, because I think it favors us a little bit here. Which finally we got a favorable draw.
I know.
In the quarters.
First time this season we've had any cup draws that favorable.
And then we play West Ham on Sunday before the international break. So we got, maybe that break will help a little bit of legs, but it's probably going to be busy for them too, who's ever playing on international duty. We only got Saka going to England, so that's the only call up for us. Some of the other guys I think got calls up, but hopefully.
Yeah, and it'll close out March and we'll go into April, which will be a defining month for the season.
Yeah, we got Liverpool right in the beginning. And they're not in the best form. So I think that's a tie that we should take it to them and try to win that game. And obviously we have to. And it's a winnable game right now, which you usually wouldn't say against Liverpool in the last couple of years. Yeah. So Tottenham.
Woo!
Hell yeah. It was.
We approached it the way I was hoping that we would approach it.
Yeah.
And they approached it the way I was hoping that they would approach it, which is completely negative, completely
defensive.
Not even. Everyone looked like they couldn't be bothered,
Yeah.
And Son pulled up injured right away, But we came out firing and we came out high press. And I knew that if you press those players, they're gonna buckle. Like Gareth Bale doesn't want to get into a physical altercation for 90 minutes.
Oh, dude, he just doesn't even like to be involved, really. He looks like when he's out there. I watched the game yesterday against Dynamo Zagreb after ours. He just didn't look bothered. In the Arsenal game last week, he didn't look bothered. I mean,
that's how he looked at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And Zinedine Zidane kept not playing him, and people were getting pissed, and Bale was getting pissed, and it's like, you go up. He was pulling an Ozil, really. It's like
he was.
Your body language is terrible. You don't do anything, and you don't run, and you don't play defense at all, and you're not helping the team out there. Like just because you scored a bike in the Champions League final, that's awesome. He's a legend, but that was a couple of years ago, and now you're hurting the team, and you're being a jerk about it.
Yeah, and even we stopped Kane. Kane didn't score
for sure, which is. If you body him up, he's always capable of getting one. And when he scored that header, I was like, no.
I know, and he hit the post. He hit the post at the end. It was like, oh damn, that was.
Yeah, even with tough defense, he's capable of scoring. But we did well, defended well. The goal they scored, that was a dagger in the heart because it was like he was surprised that he did it.
It was.
There's absolutely no defending that.
Mhm.
It was an amazing goal. You can't deny he hit it
I
so clean.
he's Oh yeah, that Rabona was sick. I mean, he's done that a few times. I've watched someone put a highlight reel on Instagram of his like Rabonas that he scored in like growing up. He scored like 10. He scored like some very good ones. He scored one for Tottenham years ago where it
Yeah,
was like
from
it's
the
like
like 18.
yeah. It's like what?
Yeah.
What is it? What audacity? Lamella though. Lamella's I don't like Lamella. I mean, what a goal, but he's a dick. Like he got sent off and you
As
knew he was going to get sent off. Yeah, you knew he was going to get sent off when he got that yellow. He was looking to get sent off on Sunday, and it was like I don't know. That guy has like an attitude problem in
yeah,
general.
it's karma. Like I remember when he slapped Martial in the face, and then
Yeah,
Martial pushed him, and then he went down, and Martial got a red card. It's like, things like that come back to haunt you. If that's the way you play, those are the games you play. It'll come back to
totally.
haunt you, and it did. And it helped us, but it almost helped them in a way because they started playing better with 10 men.
I know that's weird when that
Weird
happens. They
game when
like
it's like things happen that you think should help you, but they turn like even scoring that Rabona first
yeah,
was almost a disadvantage for them
yep,
because then we scored and made it 1-1. And then it's like you did this great thing, but now it's neutralized,
yep,
So like the
yep.
momentum it shifts a lot in the North London derby. But
Totally,
we
totally.
got ahead
Well,
of it.
that team that we started was good. I mean, they they looked good. They played really well together. I
Yeah, it
mean,
was a
we
strong
this
squad.
isn't something that we say very often. You and I both texted about it last Sunday, but Jacka had a pretty particularly good game.
He did.
He
I
did.
have no shame in saying it.
I got nothing. I got
Rex
nothing to
was
say about him today. I'm going to leave him out of today's
well,
discussion because yesterday he played shit yesterday though.
yeah, I
So
know. Yeah, it was normal Jacka back again.
well, but then yesterday the difference was is that Jacka and Bellerin were on the field together again yesterday. So
I swear,
like,
if you put them in the same lineup, it doesn't
yep,
matter what other combination. But when you put Ceballos running the 10 and Jaka and Bellerin, you
dude,
know what you're asking for besides
Danny
the game.
Danny Ceballos is terrible. Yesterday he was terrible. He got subbed off yesterday after giving the ball away like 10 times in a row. And I was like, I was literally in my office watching on the iPad, being like, get him off the field. Like he literally blew one out of bounds when no one was around. Like, what are you doing, man? Like he's giving away the ball. The ball that he gave away yesterday in the middle of the park cost us a goal.
Yeah. I mean, those
I
kinds
mean,
at the highest level, if you're playing Bayern Munich or Man City or Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, if you lose the ball in the midfield from a basic turnover of like you try to pass and it gets intercepted, like you do a nonchalant pass in the center of the pitch, it gets intercepted, you get
yeah,
scored on 9 times out of 10. Like
yeah, you're
teams,
exposed.
Liverpool's based their whole team around win that ball and on transition, you're flying forward with Salah
Yep.
and Mane. That's their bread and butter. And he
Yeah.
does that 4 or 5 times a game. And those are like,
He's
that's the one thing you cannot do in that position.
I don't care. I don't want him. I don't want him extended on loan. I don't want him buying. I mean, I think one thing that we can see is that Odegaard is quality, and if we're comparing apples to apples here, and like any day of the week, I think Arsenal need to try to get him financially after what we've been seeing. That goal against Olympiacos last week, and then scores against Tottenham. I mean, he looks like he's having fun at Arsenal. He said like, I mean, Tierney gave an interview the other day that was like he belongs here, and was like we hope he stays.
Yeah.
I
And
hope
Tierney's
that
doing that. I really do trust Tierney's attitude. Like that Arsenal posted this thing of like they're just following Tierney and he's mic'd up.
yeah,
And like he's like, come on, we have so many chances. Like get one. Like he's hard on the team. You
yeah.
know, he doesn't sit
They're
back. He's
talking
not
they're
passive.
talking about making. I've seen some things that talk about making him captain over summer.
Totally. I mean, people have been saying
Fine.
basically from the start, but he's gonna be captain. It's just a matter of when.
And let's talk about the other thing that happened on Sunday. Aubameyang getting dropped from the team Sunday morning before the match. I mean, apparently he's been turning up late to team meetings like a lot. like of what I read. Like it's not the first offense. Like he's been late repeatedly, and they have a process before the games that obviously you have to turn up early. They have a team meeting, then they all get on the bus together and go to the game. And he's been like repeatedly late and been warned and fined, and what you can only fine them so much. Like he was pissed on Sunday, but we didn't need him in that game. Like
I mean, well, yeah, there's a couple talking points from that. Like one of them is that we beat Tottenham with their strongest side, and we did it without Aubameyang. That's one, which is a good thing. Then there's what is the real deal with Aubameyang? I think he's this season with everything.
Something's going on with him, like personally. There's like a lot. I think there's a lot to unpack there for him. I don't know what it is. Like that whole thing where his brother shot a gun near his head, and that was like a weird scenario. First of all, how do they even have a gun in England? That's like a weird thing anyway. That's like super hard to do.
Was he in England? His brother?
I thought so. I thought it was in England. His brother lives in London with like near them or something. The dad's around them. I don't know. It's like a weird story. They were on Instagram Live when it happened.
Yeah.
And
that's a odd situation.
Like what's going on, man? You're making this much money and you're like,
and he was so mentally on point since he arrived. Basically, no mistakes, carried the team. But he seems to have lost the plot this year, big time.
Yeah. He just does. It looks a shadow of himself sometimes. Like yesterday, just missing chances like he shouldn't be missing. And
one-on-one at the end where he dinked it.
What do you?
I mean, those goals that he scored hundreds of those goals. You know?
Exactly, dude. He was like well in on goal yesterday on a breakaway. Like the guy was like 10 yards behind him, not catching him. Even Aubameyang didn't even look like he was flat out running as fast as he could, and just lackluster on the finish. Like there's a ton of options there. Dribble the keeper. The keeper really slid out really easily. I was like, why didn't you just go around him? And
you've seen him score that goal 5 or 6 different ways.
Yeah,
over 10, 15 times. You know
exactly. I mean? Chip, buried, whatever. I mean,
tuck, the dribble the keeper.
Yeah.
And then he had that interplay with Ceballos before that in the first half, and he just skied it over the bar.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then the
right corner, left corner, top and bottom. You know, like he's
having one of those days at the office where he's almost scoring the harder chances. Like he almost scored the back heel yesterday, the back heel, and then the attempted scissor after on the attempt. He almost scored those two. It was like, why are you missing the easy chances?
Mentally, he's not 100% fit.
Yeah,
it's been such a weird roller coaster of a year. More so for him. You have the disciplinary stuff that people keep making a big deal about. I don't think it's as big a deal as it's a talking point. You know?
I do think that the Arteta got some good praise in the media. They called it like a master stroke of like how he managed the team last week. I mean, he does need to make a statement. If your captain is turning up late to the team meetings before matches, I mean, it's not a good look. It's not a good look.
Everyone's taped up, ready to go, you know, doing their cheer and stuff.
And you show up in your Ferrari
and tires.
Yeah.
Here comes Aubameyang just peeling out in his multicolored Lamborghini, and he gets out and he's in a full velour silver jumpsuit.
Well, that's what it was, right?
It was like still has all his earrings on. Like, nowhere near prepared, nowhere near warmed up.
You're gonna get fucking ripped. You're gonna get ripped apart. Like, I think is he letting the showmanship go to his head a little bit? I mean, he's finally at an age where he's earning like a lot of money now, like more than he's ever earned before on any contract. He's on like $300K a week, but then bonuses is, you know, and then he has Nike, and I mean, he has a lot of. Have you looked at the fleet of cars that guy has? I mean, he's got like 3 Ferraris, a McLaren. I mean, he's living lavishly. So like, is he letting that get to his head a little bit and clouding his judgment?
Well, I think it's one of those things that when you're scoring, when you're getting the golden boot, all that stuff just looks like you're a total badass. But as
Totally.
soon as you start missing the goals that he was missing yesterday, then it makes everyone question everything, you know? So I don't think
Yeah.
much has fundamentally changed, you know?
I mean, I still think he's a great player. I just think he needs to come back to reality a little bit sometimes. Like I as like a, if I was the manager, like, and he did that, like I would bench him too. Like you can't be doing that, especially when you got someone like Tierney, who we're just talking about, who's like is spurring the team on. They're talking about making him captain, and he's like, his attitude is completely dialed in.
Yeah. And he's
I mean,
performing on the pitch.
exactly. If you got someone like that, that's like you got this dude leading the team. I'd even say Bernd Leno is a great leader out there. Like, I mean, I don't think we ever really talk about him so much, but what a fucking goalkeeper. I mean, we can't even, none of the other guys are even getting a look now because we just can't afford to bench him.
I mean, I would put in Runnerson probably for the North London derby. Start him at right back.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah. No, Leno's, sometimes he seems a little bit too nonchalant and you're not quite sure what's going on, but he saved us a lot of times in the crunch.
Yeah. He's,
to get a goalie of his quality is going to run you about $50 million minimum. So yeah, we lucked out.
We did, yeah.
Him when we did, that's for sure.
I mean, we played really well in the North London derby last week. Like really well.
Yeah, I mean, Tierney attacking from the left. Cedric was good, hit the post. Yep. Thoreau hit the post, was super unlucky. He played great.
That was a great shot.
I think, did Party get 90? Did he get a full 90?
Yeah, he did.
And it was, you know, I think he wasn't perfect necessarily, but like you see what happens when you have him in for 90 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, we bossed that game. Even the commentator was like, "This is all Arsenal." Like that, like and we dominated the match.
Yeah,
handedly, like honestly, really handedly.
Tottenham approached the game the same way last time, and we just did not step up.
Mm-hmm.
And they approached it again, thinking it was going to work. Oh, eventually it'll go to Kane and Son, and it almost did, but it didn't work this time because you can't play like that, you know. And that's eventually Mourinho's style will crack, you know.
Well, and he was even like blaming the referees. He was like, "Oh, he had a bad game." It was like, dude, in no way did the referee last Sunday do anything that involved with the game. I mean, the Laka penalty.
Of the decisions that have changed games this season for Arsenal alone, but for other teams as well, there was nothing in that game that was even controversial.
No.
Laka yanked it, but then the dude kicked his leg off. Like,
yeah.
If that's in the middle of the pitch, that's a foul and a yellow card.
For sure. It's a penalty. The ball's like, I think that people that evaluate the game sometimes don't understand what it's like to be in the game. And when you're going to kick the ball and somebody's kicking you at the same time, it does impede how you strike the ball. Like, it's a foul.
Just because it didn't happen before you actually kick the ball.
Exactly. The whole motion is a combined effort.
Pressure, like on defense, just pressure them. Even if you don't win the ball, like go up for the header, don't give him a free header, because even if you don't win the ball, it's going to make him head the ball a little bit differently. Which will give the keeper a chance to save it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it makes a difference.
I think when people evaluate it, they're like, "That's not a foul. That's like the ball was already gone." Like, you obviously have never played soccer because you don't understand when you're going to kick the ball and somebody's already in the motion of kicking you. You already have sensed it and already have adjusted your body, and you're mishitting the ball because of the movement.
And even so, even if I kick the ball and then a second later someone comes and kicks my leg, that's a foul.
Yeah.
It's not a foul because I already played the ball.
Still foul.
Yeah. So
I mean, because he did shank it, but we don't know that the ball was going wide. Like, it might have stayed in bounds the way he struck it, and like it literally fizzed off his boot. It could have dropped right next to him.
Or I mean, he might have gone out for a throw-in, you know.
But Laka's that
clutch.
Time and time again is clutch and is proving to be. I hope that he stays. I I think he's a good force in our club. And even if he doesn't get as many minutes over time, every time he's asked to perform, he performs.
Agreed. And I think if you go back to our podcast from all year long, I think we've called for him to start I don't think we
all the
ever
time.
Don't start him. Like,
no, he's great.
Not a situation where I'm like, oh, why is Lacazette in? Like,
no, I like when I see him on the team sheet.
Aubameyang to play at the same time. That's just, for me, that's a failure of Arteta's to figure out how to play them at the same time. And I guess he's Aubameyang on the left, but it's like play them both in the middle. Figure out a way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
And he's we got some rotation. I'm happy that Martinelli got some minutes yesterday. He looked positive when he came out. He's trying to. I know that he's been talking about him in the press, trying to get him some more minutes. I think it's just that he's trying to keep winning right now. We're in a really tight part of the season, and it's tough. Like we got some. I wish that he would play more though, because I like when he comes on.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like you're talking about, oh, we need to get him more minutes and stuff. And it's like, well, Willian has gotten a lot of time this season.
Yeah.
So it's hard to understand when he's like, I'm trying to get everyone to go in. It's like, well, Martinelli should be playing before Willian every single time.
Willian needs to go. Not a fan. He had like one decent game. He just doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything.
Be like a main player on our team. I don't.
Yeah.
Like Tottenham got Joe Hart as their backup keeper. They didn't get him to take over Hugo Lloris. That's like if they would have started Joe Hart on the first game of the season, and everyone would be like, "Wait, I know we got him for free, but
but why is he playing?"
That's how it was with William. So
I think the result though against Tottenham, really positive result. We've done much better this year with beating bigger teams. We've struggled in the last 5 years with the top 6 opposition. We've usually have lost, like the one I think 2 years ago, we lost to all of them. Both they did the double over us in multiple games, and we drew. We beat United this year. We drew with United. That's good. We lost to Tottenham. We beat Tottenham. We lost to City both times, right?
Yeah.
Liverpool, we
lost,
but I think we could beat them in this next game.
Yeah, we'll see. Chelsea, we
beat them and we tied.
Did we tie the first game?
I think so. No, we beat them. No, we still play them one more time. We still play them. We beat them 3-1.
Yeah, and we still play them again.
Yep, later in the season, like in May.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, that's a winnable game, I think.
Totally. Chelsea, I don't care how they're a standard, good, professional team with tons of talent and a good coach, but nothing about them is extraordinary.
Yeah,
nothing.
It's just. Yeah, I agree.
Cutter, high level team.
I mean, Werner just can't even find the net at all. There's like all these jokes about him, just like that. I feel bad for him kind of because he's a good player. You can tell that he's a good player.
He was amazing in Germany, and he started out well. How many forwards have gone to Chelsea and ruined their career and become laughing stocks? I remember they were making fun of Morata. Like he was a laughing stock. Morata at Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid and Juventus is a baller.
Yeah, he's really good. But that's the way Chelsea plays. And Chelsea likes like a Drogba type striker, a big guy or like anyone like that just like can force their way through. And
look at Torres when he went there.
Oh yeah, flopped.
Shevchenko flopped. Werner, they just because at the end of the day they're never an attacking team. Forwards, unless you score all the chances you get, you're not going to get a lot of help. Yeah,
it's true. I don't know. I'm not really worried about them, but we've done well against top 6 opposition. I mean, the table's close. Like it's weird. It's weird how close it is. Like I didn't want to get our hopes up about anything, but like as it approaches, it's like there's doable. Like Europe is doable. We're on 41 points right now. The gap between us and West Ham is 47 points. We're level on games. We play them on Sunday. We have to win. If we win that game, where we close the gap to 4 points, and they're in 5th place right now.
I feel like Tottenham is they're gonna crumble and they're gonna sack Jose after this year.
They are. They're struggling right now. They're on 45 points, 28 games played, and I don't see them holding on to where they're at. They're in 8th right now. Everton's just okay now. They were having like a really good portion. I think that for us, we have the positivity moving forward. Yesterday, the pundits, including Peter Schmeichel on the CBS thing yesterday, were tipping Arsenal to win the Europa League.
Well, and that says something too. And you can credit Arteta, because for so long pundits had totally written off Arsenal, and you couldn't blame them. You couldn't blame them, but you could tell that even if they weren't hating on Arsenal, they just didn't take them seriously.
Yeah,
I think that's changed.
Yeah, I mean, look at we lost in a lackluster game yesterday. Whatever. I mean, we still went through. It was never nervy. They needed 2 more goals to score, and we probably would have turned on. We've really turned it on like when we're losing. But like overall, we've shored up the back so much better than we ever have before, and they're defending better. They're attacking better. There just seems to be, I don't know, something changing this season. We were hopeful from the beginning, and I don't think that was wrong. I think that there's a tide changing at the club, and it takes time.
Yeah, this was going to be a bumpy year. It's been a bumpy year.
Yeah,
but we've moved in the right direction ultimately.
Totally, and I think the run of games that we have, like West Ham, they're good right now. I think that we're going to beat them on Sunday. Actually,
I mean, look at how we beat Leicester.
Yeah.
I feel like, to me, that Leicester win is, I like it more than
massive.
Chelsea win. I like it more than even like this Tottenham win, because I feel like Leicester is a better team than both of them. They're a totally hard team to beat, to play against. They're shrewd. They're good. And we beat them handily. I think that's the win that gives me the most confidence as a win.
I agree. Actually, I forgot about that win recently. It's 3-1. That was a really good game.
We desperately needed that, and that was a win that I wasn't expecting. And we need some W's that were not really expected. Like if we can get one of Liverpool, would be massive.
Oh my God! If we were to somehow do the West Ham Liverpool, like changes where we're at completely. I mean, we jump up to 47. We're right behind West Ham. Then we're in probably 6th or 7th place level on points with someone else going into the remaining 6 fixtures. I fancy us in that.
Then we have Sheffield United and
Sheffield. Yeah, I'll pull it up real quick.
We have
West Ham, Liverpool, Sheffield, Fulham, Everton, Newcastle, West Brom, Chelsea, Palace, Brighton. There's a lot of winnable games in there.
Seriously, if we catch fire, what if we won all those games? Where would we be?
Yeah.
Like, how many games left total? That's 11 games, I think.
We're on 28 games. We have 10 games left, 30 points left. We could finish on 71 points. That's where Man City is right now.
Yeah, I just want to look real quick and see what 71 points was last year. The 19-20 EPL table. We'd be on what, 71? That'd put us in 3rd place.
Yeah. I mean,
in last year's table. So just as a benchmark, it's not necessarily going to be like that, but that's top 4. But that's also winning 10 games in a row in the league. They've been winning. They've been winning games. And I think we haven't even gotten to it yet, but we drew Slavia Prague in Europa League. That is a favorable tie for us out of the remaining 8 teams. And I mean, you and I have a personal relationship to that city, having lived there and gone to see Slavia many times. And I think, they can beat Slavia Prague. They better beat Slavia Prague. Like, I would think that we should be able to beat Rangers. That would have been a tough game, but
Yeah,
there's no
you should
reason
be.
why Rangers should beat us.
No, no.
They barely got past Rangers. We should beat them flat
We
out.
should beat them. We should hand out beat them. Like we've been to I went to a Slavia Prague game in 2019, the summer, like the last summer we were able to travel, and they were good, but they're not, dude. They're not a Premier League team. They are in the Czech first division, and is not the same caliber. They
They're playing Olamuts and
Yeah, and Brno and
Pilsen.
Pilsen. Yeah, it's like these teams are these teams are Bohemians are in the top division. I mean, I love the Bohemians, but they're like, let's be real. These guys
They're
they're
in
playing
the
in like a
EPL. They'd be getting smashed.
it's not even comparable. Like Bohemians has like a 3,000 seat stadium. It's very beaten up. It's in the middle of a neighborhood that like part of it is the neighborhood. It's like, I mean, they're not a
EPL
Premier League.
for
Yeah.
25 crowns tops.
Well, yeah, exactly. You can eat there for $5 and have a couple beers. I mean, the food, the sausage there, I think is 20 crowns, and you're like, oh, I got a full sausage for $1, and it's just they're not getting paid the same wage. I'd be willing to bet that not most of those guys aren't even making a couple hundred grand a year in some of the top first division teams. They're on lower, so they're just not the same caliber. Arsenal should go there and dominate, and if they
Win.
don't, there's an issue. Yeah, and win.
Yeah. It's just they're still seeing yesterday, there's still lurking mediocrity in the squad. Like we're capable
Yeah.
of going out there and just playing like crap, which
I think
is
he did. I think he did play like a week inside yesterday. Even if you look at it, though, like there was a good bit of guys on there, but it was like they knew the comfort zone. I think once they got the second half 1-0, and they were like, okay, we can contain this like pretty easily.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think the standout disappointment that really could have gone either way and went south is Ceballos.
I mean,
We were happy that we got him again. We figured, okay, we could use him. He started to show some signs of quality at the end of last season that made you think, okay, maybe he can grow into the spot. And then
he's not though. He's not.
good. He's not always bad, but you just think like it's like when you see tennis players and you're like, I think the max that this guy can do is be like a top 50 player. Max.
Yeah, and
absolute max,
that happens like physically. He's never going to be able to do it, and not just physically. Like there is a general. I know you'll agree with me. There's a general touch that's involved in the game that some players have and some players just don't have, and I think part of it's natural, part of it's growing up, being comfortable with the ball and having it at your feet a lot, and like Messi. If you compare like Messi and Ceballos capacity wise just could never be him. It's just not doable for him. It's like there's a gap there, and not that he needs to be Messi, but he's not even like I don't think he's a Champions League player.
No, he's like he's a Valencia or Real Betis, which is where he wanted to go and probably will go. He would be fine on Real Betis.
Yeah, he's probably score. He'll probably score some goals here and there because it's slower. He can take his time and have a cup of tea and shit when he like gets the ball. Yeah. But he like right now he's giving away the ball like every time he gets the ball.
Yeah, and he's given up 3 goals?
Yeah,
in the past 4 games or so.
No. How do you fancy so the draw came out in Europa League today. United plays. I was pulling it up when I was looking. United plays Ajax or Granada, and Ajax plays Roma, and that side over there is we don't meet that side at all. They already did the semi-draw. If we beat Slavia, we're going to play Villarreal or Dynamo Zagreb. I'm guessing it's Villarreal. It's going to be Unai Emery in the semifinals, and I fancy our chances.
Yeah, it won't. I don't think either of those games will particularly be easy. But if we
Dynamo yesterday, I mean, I did watch the end of the Dynamo game yesterday. All right, so like Dynamo, I watched the highlights. Tottenham was particularly bad, and Dynamo, At one point, the ball was bouncing around the box like crazy. Keeper made a great save. It's like in the last 3 minutes of extra time. Multiple players on the Dynamo Zagreb team fell to the ground in joy that the ball went out for a corner kick against Tottenham with 3 minutes left. They are not going to win the league, the Europa League. They're lucky that they're even in the quarterfinals at where they're at. They fired their manager.
Like
they fired their manager 4 days ago. He's going to jail. He's going to jail for fraud, and from the club, they were like embezzling money. They went into it yesterday. I was listening to it, so they were just joyous to even get past Tottenham. They might have had a lucky win on 3-0. That dude scored a sick hat trick, and so I think that they'll lose to Villarreal. I think that we can beat Villarreal.
Yeah, and then we're in the final playing Man United or Ajax.
Yeah, I think that that's probably who would beat, because Roma's not going to beat Ajax. Or you wouldn't think so.
Mkhitaryan scores a hat trick because he's like fifth place in goals in Italy.
Why did he not play? He did not play well in England in general, though. It was not just us; it was United as well. That's why they got rid of him. He was meant to be. He was so good at Dortmund.
I know, and it seemed like he lost his ability to dribble with the ball once he came.
Yeah,
he just looked like he was
lost.
Confused.
Was it too fast? Too fast, maybe.
He was fast, and I mean, it's like Bundesliga slow. You know,
it's not slow. No, it's a. I mean, the Bundesliga is no joke. I think the Bundesliga is the second best league to watch. I think it's fun. It's fun. There's a lot of goals. They beat the shit out of one another. It's a good time.
Like the drop off in form. I think what happened was he went to Man U and he never played in a comfortable position because Mourinho was there. And Mourinho was like, what am I going to do with this guy? I want him to be just basically like a Willian and just get the ball on the right and whip in crosses. And he was like, I don't really do that. And then by the time he came to Arsenal was so disorganized and no one was telling anyone what their job was. It was just go out there and try to play your best. And he wasn't mentally into it, and he sucked.
And he never really did it much for us. I liked him. I actually thought he I thought he was good. I think he's a good player, and I wanted him to do well. He just never really got firing all the way. I feel like I don't really remember him playing all that much, or just even being involved as much.
No, and a lot of times he was anonymous to just flat out poor.
Yeah.
Man, when you really look at it, the squad that we've come from with the Kolasinac and Lichtsteiner and Mkhitaryan and we really have made some moves.
We have. No, they're making. I mean, I was talking to a friend the other day that was going on and on about Partey and was like, dude, the fact that you guys got Thomas Partey says a lot. Dude, he's considered one of the best holding midfielders in the world right now, and gonna get better.
Yeah.
He's 20? How old is he? 24, 27? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I'll check, but
young enough to where he can still get better and where he's going to get better.
Definitely. He's 27.
Okay. That's a good age for that area. He's got
years.
Yeah, easily. He could get to the way players are playing now. Look at Ronaldo, man. I mean, he's setting the bar high for the way that football is going to move in the next realm. I think fitness has changed over time. People are getting stronger and figuring out the sports science behind your body. And Ronaldo's a perfect example of that. He's 35 and still balling. I mean, they didn't. Juventus. He has a tough team to move on with. They're not that good. I mean, they got Szczesny as their main keeper. I think we've improved in that area. Szczesny was terrible, I thought. I mean, compared to Leno, come on.
I would take Leno any day. But
Leno's my favorite Arsenal keeper, I think, that we've had in recent years, at least.
Maybe ever.
Ever, yeah. I mean, he's the best all-around keeper that we've had. And I don't know. You're right. We've improved over the years. We've gotten a whole Lichtsteiner used to be in our center back. Now we had The last two games we had David Luiz and Gabriel, and I like that partnership.
Yeah. Right now, yes, I'll take it for sure.
Dude, they're good. They're good together. They're Brazilian. They speak the same language. You know that they're kind of on the same page. Like
they're crafty with the ball. They're tough.
Yeah,
They're big.
Gabriel
big.
is
6'3".
That header he scored last week against Olympiacos was a thunderbolt.
But speaking of old players that sucked for us, did you notice, dude, what is this? Another thing with players that once played at Arsenal, like, do you notice Socrates was like the whole time just like basically talking shit with his mannerisms and like complaining to the ref and like, it's like, dude, you played for us like not that long ago.
You left this year, man.
Yeah, and he's already just like, no, fuck this team,
I never really liked his attitude. I think he's kind of like one of those types of dudes anyway, like where he's like I don't know, just always mad and always talking shit to people, and like that's his attitude on the field. He annoyed me in both the ties, actually. Because he also for Arsenal was terrible and never really did very much. And yesterday it looked like he was running more than he ever ran for us. It's like, that's frustrating.
Like when he first came in, I kind of liked it because we were struggling severely from puscitis. And finally we got a dude who like, I'm going to get stuck in and I'm going to push the other team around a little bit and get into tackles. And I was like, okay, finally we have someone who is willing to do that. But you already felt like this dude, I mean, he might pull both hamstrings any day now and be done,
Yeah.
Like,
it's just,
you couldn't handle it.
Yeah. If you look at how we've talked about it, our center backs have vastly improved. I mean, we got Mari and Holding that aren't playing as much right now. And I think they're both good. They're better than we have had, like, comparatively to like Mertesacker and any of those guys that we've had in the middle. Yeah. And I mean, the only other notable one that was a solid one for us was Colcioni, but he was always alone.
Yeah, and he was just you look at him and you're like, that dude is a center back in the EPL.
I know he's small. He's like not that big and skinny.
Yeah, and I think he had
Gabriel is a monster. That dude is huge.
Well, what I like, and I think that Arteta understands this from Pep, because when Pep came his first year, he tried to play like his Barcelona style with these short little guys running around. And then he realized, like, oh shit, when we play West Brom and then Stoke and then Aston Villa, it doesn't matter if these dudes are technically far superior to everyone on the teams who are playing.
Strength-wise, they can't do it.
Yeah, and like the injuries that they received, and like, so he was like, okay, give me 250 mil. I'm buying an entire new back line, and they're all going to be over 6 foot, like 180 pounds. And so I think Arteta had to have been knowledgeable about that. And you see the types of players we're getting, like Arte, Gabriel, Ari and Holding, like everyone is big. And finally,
and Tierney, I mean, I'd even say Cedric is too small. Like in his terms, like that's why they're talking about other right backs for the summer. Yeah. Bellerin's they're trying to get a bit. Odegaard is a big dude.
Yeah.
Like he looks big in the midfield, and you're like, that dude's crafty as shit. Like,
Emile Smith-Rowe, big.
Is big. Yeah. Saka's big.
Aubameyang is big. Lacazette is strong. He's not necessarily, but he's strong.
Martinelli's big, and I think he's getting bigger. Yeah.
He that's about 600 pounds.
That's the thing and they won't ever come out and say that's what they're going for. But you're right. On the All or Nothing Man City documentary, they're talking about like, I had a bad season with that team, and I needed center backs that were bigger and left back, like Mendy, Laporte, Otamendi when he was there. All of those, Kyle Walker, they're all big. Company, like those are big people. Yeah,
and Delph wasn't one of the more technical players, but he's just a swole, big, athletic dude. It's like. That's a benchmark that you have to be. And then if you're talented on top of that, yes, we want you. But if you're talented and not an insane athlete, you won't survive in the Premier League.
No, it's
Or
true.
your qualities won't be able to show because physically you'll just get bullied.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to see.
I mean, the team is evolving, and I think it's a good. Like, I mean, we can talk about transfers. What do you got on the list? You got any
Well,
things you're eyeing and keeping an eye on?
I was just looking around the other day and like I use Transfer Market, the
The
website.
website. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a benchmark. The fees or what they're worth is probably not super accurate, but it's never terribly wrong.
Off.
You just go
Yeah.
with it like, okay, this is since we never really know what someone will go for, that's a good kind of baseline. And basically what I was seeing is like who we have on loan is Ceballos, Odegaard, Matt Ryan, the goalie.
Mhm.
Ceballos, I say send him back.
Yeah, they're not going to keep him.
And Odegaard and Matt Ryan to keep would cost 53 million pounds, which is already that's
How much? How much?
53 million
That's
euro.
all for That's all for Odegaard.
That's what
Odegaard's how much?
that's what it's saying. It was like he was the bulk of that.
I think he's like over 40, probably
Yeah,
45 or
like
something.
45, something like that.
I think I could see that. And I think it's a good fee. I would be fine with them spending that on Odegaard.
Yeah, and I think it would be worth it. And the thing is, too, and they talk so much about self-sustaining model and this and that and the other thing. Like, I want to pull it up real quick just so we can just see like the who we have out on loan and what that's worth and who we have loaned and how much it would cost to keep those players on hand, which I think we should keep Matt Ryan. He seems fine. I mean, when you're looking for a number two, like who would you rather have to be your number two goalie? As
Yeah,
long as they can
yeah.
catch a ball, you're like, that's fine. So I would
Yeah,
say
because how often are the goalkeepers get injured? It's not super often, and
and runners
especially Leno's had a good run of form. So yeah, Runnerson, what's he running? But he was free.
yeah. Well, no, he was like 2 million, but I mean, basically we need someone else, you
Yeah,
know.
they're not gonna keep him, I don't think.
But hold on one second. Playing Arsenal players on loan.
So we got
Players on.
Guendouzi out.
So the players that we've taken in, Odegaard, he's worth 44 million, according to this. Ceballos is worth 33 million. I think that's too high. But I say send him back anyway.
Yeah.
And then
$5 million is too much for him.
And then Matt Ryan is 6.6 million. So 50 million, actually. I think maybe they just adjusted Odegaard's worth, apparently. But call it 50 million for those two players. I say sign it up.
Yeah.
Now, look at what the price we have. If we just get rid of all the players who didn't play with us this season, and I don't think anyone is saying, oh man, if we had Lucas Torreira or if we had Guendouzi or if we had, no one's really noticing these players that are gone.
Yeah. I think those two are
Maybe they play better, maybe not, but they're all players that once played with us, and for a reason, they're on loan now.
Yeah.
So there's Guendouzi.
They had season. They already played, and now they're gone. There is a reason for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Guendouzi 27 million. Torreira 24 million. Ainsley 19.8 million. Saliba 18.7 million. Willock is 17 million, which I said him maybe we'll take back or something, but
yeah,
honestly, maybe not either. Kolasinac 8.8 and Mavropanos is only here listed as 2.75 million, but I think he's having a good season at Stuttgart. That could be higher. So we have, there's 50 million just in Guendouzi and Torreira. Then with Ainsley, Saliba, and Willock, that's another 45. And very conservatively, another 10 with Kolasinac and Mavropanos. And that's just players we have on loan. That's not even including Bellerin, which there's a good chance he's going to leave.
I think,
We could get
and his status, I think at this point, like 35 million or something, maybe 20, 25.
even with these players that we have on loan that we don't need back, we could sell Bellerin for 25 and it would be okay. Because
Yeah.
we could get 150 million players this way because we still have Chambers. And do you remember this one dude named Reese Nelson? Ever heard of
Yeah.
him?
He's like,
Utterly forgotten. I had forgotten him, that I was just looking through this list and I was like, oh
dude,
yeah,
he's
Nelson.
he's still in the first team right now. He hasn't been on the bench. He wasn't in the Europa League team yesterday, was he?
Well,
I didn't see.
he has to get ahead of Martinelli, Pepe, Saka, Emil Smith Rowe, Odegaard.
Yeah, not gonna
That's not
happen.
happening.
That's the thing with like Willock. I like Joe Willock, and I think he's all right. But like, could we get someone better? Probably.
Well, I was thinking like there's that Yves Bissouma,
Yeah, from Brighton.
Brighton. And then there's Buendia from Norwich.
Yeah,
Who's been balling in their first championship. And they were talking about him like, let him play, but we can get him to be instead of Ceballos, put in Buendia instead of, just someone else in the midfield, Basuma. We definitely need a right back, but we have players to sell, to give us funds.
Yeah.
And there are players out there that aren't that expensive, that we could really improve the team in the summer.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think what we have that, and they said that they were going to reinvest and they have a big summer transfer window planned. So I trust that they're going to go after some things.
It's exciting to see what the options are, just looking at the loan situation.
Do you forget? I mean, we solve our midfield problem there that we wanted with our war with Odegaard. I think that's plenty because he's only going to get better. He's 22.
Yeah, I mean, he's 22. He's an attacking midfielder, big. I don't know what Awar brings to the table that Odegaard doesn't.
Yeah, and he looks, and Odegaard, I think the first couple times he was out didn't look like he looks comfortable now.
Yeah,
scored
with London Derby. He's settling in with the fans. The fans already like him.
Yeah.
He will be appreciated. Where if he goes back to Real Madrid, there's going to be a good chance he doesn't play again.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, there's a lot to work with.
Yeah, I think there's some movement going to happen in the summertime it's exciting to see.
Definitely.
We got West Ham on Sunday.
They're not going away.
They're in fifth place.
Yeah, they've come up clutch this season.
I never thought that they would be up there. They're
for relegation at the beginning of the year, and we weren't the only ones.
Yeah, they were. I didn't think they were going to be good. Do you think we can beat them?
Yes, we should be able to beat them. Fuck it.
And it's where it's I think it's at their stadium. Not that matters. Yeah, it's at the London Stadium, but it's a London derby. It's not two derbies in a row for us, but
fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
We played a team that played against Tottenham. Go out and take it.
I think you should play that team again.
Have Odegaard rip an ultra golazo again.
I'd bench him. He should
35 out. That needs to be a game plan.
Dude, his banger from against Olympiacos, that thing was. I mean, we haven't had a midfielder that shoots from that area in a really long time.
Yeah,
since Fabregas and Nasri, that's like kind of the last time we had midfielders doing that.
And it just opens up the field.
Yeah,
the player that will do that and can do that, because then they're fearing the shot, then he just slots it into Aubameyang.
Yeah. It's hard to mark that because and him and Smith Rowe in the same team, they play well together. I like Smith Rowe out there with Tierney. They seem to vibe well.
Totally, it's great. It's a great look.
Yeah,
the center midfield, get Xhaka out, a new right back. Well, we can improve. Like if you're looking at spots and you're like, because I look at Bayern Munich. That team amazes me right now. They really amaze me because you look at every position, they're they're so stacked, dude.
Yeah.
Like you remember like playing nomads or something, and like your best player, they had a defender who was like like noticeably faster than your best forward, who could like. I remember we had like this kid Juan. You remember Juan?
Of course, yeah.
Fastest kid on our team. The Nomads had this tall black dude who played sweeper. Juan had like 20 yards on him on a breakaway, and this dude just caught him. And
yeah, they were so good. I mean, that's the difference. There's like difference of like strength, and they grew up playing, learning it differently. I mean, they were bigger kids. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, that's how Bayern Munich is, where in the sense like every position is like a dude who's like could be the best player on our team, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so you look at it and you're like, out of 11 positions, 11 players on the field, you have to look at where you can improve all the time, because every player basically has to be a star if you want to be the best team. You know, like
totally. Yeah.
they're winning they won the Champions League last year deservedly. If we pretend that we want to win the Champions League, compare the teams, and then you're seeing where do we need to improve? What player could match them position to position, you know?
Yeah.
Then the center mid, Partey, you'd say, okay, Partey, you could imagine playing for Bayern Munich, you know?
Yeah. We're starting to get some players. We're starting to get some players that I feel like could fit into that team over there.
Yeah, and it's been a long time.
And Jack is not one of them.
That's nothing against anybody. It's just you look at where you need to improve.
Yeah.
At the position, we need to have another Partey there. You know, we
totally.
need to have another Odegaard, another Smith Rowe, you know?
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean, look at City. City's stacked in both departments. I mean, the fact that Phil Foden can't get into the team sometimes.
insane.
I mean, he's incredible. Like, I mean,
he comes on and scores. He's almost every time.
He can score 2 goals a game sometimes. Like, that kid's so good.
Seriously.
I mean, and then they got De Bruyne too. It's like they literally bought. We're gonna have 2 players in each position that are ballers.
Yeah, I like that they play Dortmund because I want to see what Holland does.
And
then if they beat Dortmund, which they probably will get past Dortmund, but then they'll play Bayern Munich.
Oh yeah,
that against Bayern Munich would be a
great tie. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. That's a great tie. I think City could win the Champions League this year.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Pep has like dialed that team in, and they are.
But can they win the League Cup
against Tottenham?
Yeah,
that's soon.
If it was today, I'd
I think they're going to smash Tottenham. I think they're going to smash Tottenham actually in that.
I think Tottenham
for Dick maybe. It's at Wembley.
It'll be like when we played them in the final of the League Cup.
Yeah.
And basically, we're so shit scared before the game even started. That was one of the worst Arsenal matches to watch.
Which one?
When we played City in the League Cup with
oh my god
years last year and we lost 3-0. Then Wenger was like, "Oh, there's more extra time," and the ref said, "Why do you want more time?"
Yeah,
it's just like slapped in the face. You know
that
was painful to watch. But
dude, they're just going to dismantle Tottenham. I mean, the way that they're playing, like, I mean, Pep and Mourinho. That's going to be. I'm going to watch. That's a great match.
Totally.
I think that City has a chance to. I mean, they're going to win the league. No one's catching them. They're
gone.
They're gone. Yeah, it's going to be over in like 4 games.
Yeah,
because they only need 84 or 84 points now or something. So they're on 71. It's done, and they're going to win 4 games. So, and then they're going to focus on the Champions League. And I don't know. I just think that they could win it. That's going to be.
They could pull the quadruple is in play.
Yeah.
And if there was a team that you would think could do it, it's them. So
it would be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate them.
You have to respect and appreciate them. I don't
Yeah.
find that, like, sometimes they'll be playing, like Brighton or something, and it's like I'm not gonna watch that game. You know what I mean?
No, the big games though, like I do like to watch. They're fun to watch sometimes. They're good. I mean, they
The
ball.
teams that aren't afraid of them and have something that can hurt them, it can turn into a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm hopeful for our season. What do you think? We haven't been making predictions, so I guess we should stick to that because I think it works for us sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna
I
happen.
still think anything can happen.
Oh, totally. We don't know what Arsenal team is going to show up on Sunday.
Yeah.
If the team that we has been decently showing up sometimes lately, then I think we have a chance.
The team that played yesterday plays West Ham will lose.
Yep.
No doubt. So we'll see.
Does he start Aubameyang? I don't know. I think he should play the same team that started against Tottenham.
Yeah, just flat out same team.
Yeah. Same thing. Do that same. That's whatever they did worked.
Do that. Yeah. Yeah. That could work again. I don't see why not.
Even conceding that goal, that was super unlucky. I mean, dude, that's like he'll be telling his kids about that one day. That's like the goal that he's going to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't. There wasn't anyone's mistake that happened.
No, it's a brilliant finish though.
Insane.
Well, when's the next? We don't have a Europa League game for a bit. We have a break after West Ham between Liverpool. So
that'll be good for them.
So we'll be back next week, I'm sure, to talk about West Ham.
There's always a storyline or two with Arsenal, so they'll be
always
to talk about.
Always. Well, as always, it's been joyous, and can't wait that we have Slavia Prague, Vole.
Slavia Praha. Slavia Praha.
Too bad we can't go to that because that sounds great.
Yeah.
That's April.
It'd be as good as the time I saw him play Sparta.
Yeah,
Thierry Henry broke the goal scoring record.
That's an amazing game to have been at.
Yeah, but
I'm jealous that you were there for that. That's I haven't gotten to see. I did see Slavia play Tottenham in the Europa League in 2006. That was cool. Up at the old Strahov Stadium. Slavia has a really nice stadium, so that'll be a cool fixture to watch on TV and see like how it looks now.
Yeah,
because it's like it's really cool. Like the outside of it's like all wood. It's like really fancy looking.
Damn. Sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, well, join us next week.
Another round. Ciao.
Always. Ciao, Vole.